Let's get the Classic IndyCar Series Indianapolis 500 underway. In towards turn number 5, they are going to go 3 wide. In towards turn number 5, hey, look at that, fantastic.
This point, oh, is he going to look for a move coming down to the carousel? Yes, he is. Wow, that was a late move there by Henry Bennett going down into the carousel. Turn number 6, lap 67. He is up into 4th position. Well, Andreas Werner, I think, will probably want to fight that one back.
Yeah, he looks to the outside. Not going to do so. Looks to the inside. Gets the better run, then does the driver of Andres. 1 and a 2 make contact.
Oh, that was unlucky contact, but they're going to stay side by side coming through turn number 8. Down towards turn number 9, the chicane. Henry Bennett's going to be pushed off wide. Try and go round the outside in the number 66 machine, and he's done it. Michel Constantini is going to go to the lead.
Robert Grosser winning the Classic IndyCar Series.
It would help if I put the wrong microphone on. Here we go. 2018 for the Classic IndyCar Series is not too far away from us, and I can just see Lucas and Robert smiling to each other over in the corner of my screen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2018 Classic IndyCar Series pre-season show. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen, you have Robert Grosser. Give me a wave, Robert. And Lucas Laville on as the other one with his hat on backwards, looking like an idiot. Unfortunately, you can't see me. I have lost my webcam. So you're stuck with this silly photo of me, and we are fully supplied with beer, so we'll be entertaining you for the next hour or so, taking you through what is to come over the next year of racing for the Classic IndyCar Series. Obviously, 2017 hang on, I need to pull something up which you lot don't want to see just yet. 2017 obviously was an interesting year. Robert, you took your 3rd championship for the Classic IndyCar Series, and it's 3 in a row now. I'm presuming 4 is the target.
Absolutely, because I have a French role model, Sébastien Bourdais, who won 4 in a row, and I will do just that this season, 2018. The champ, ladies and gentlemen.
Lucas, you got to try and beat him, surely.
Yeah, of course, that's the plan, as usual. You tried it the past 2 years already. Yeah, I nearly swear on your broadcast. Sorry, it's already going enough the rails, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going to be PG-13, obviously, tonight. But yeah, the plan is to beat this young man right there next year, and we'll start in 2 weeks.
We certainly will. First round is going to be from
Homestead Maya Speedway.
That's it. There you go. You lot know the schedule better than I do, and I've got it up on my screen at the moment.
It's all in my head.
So we've had 2 pre-season races. We've obviously had the Winter Series, of which I provided a broadcast for the final round, and obviously looking at the winners and the pole positions, we had an oval test race at Phoenix. Lucas, you won that. You managed to fend off McKaylee, and who took the pole, and it looks as though the road test race at Daytona Moto, who on earth decided to do it at that circuit? It's horrible, and John Elmsheimer managed to take the glory in that one.
Yeah, nice change to race at Daytona. Obviously, a layout that nobody is used to, so it was quite new for everyone. But nice race, to be honest. John and Joel Tremblay were quite racy up front. I spun, so I couldn't take the checkered flag, but
As usual.
yeah, I spun as usual, indeed, as Kimi would say. But yeah, it was quite good.
So obviously, 2017, we had quite a good roster of drivers, some very competitive drivers. Obviously, Michaela took the Oval Championship. Robert, you won it overall, and I've already forgotten who won the Road Championship. I
wonder who won the championship of courses, Jack Styles.
I think it was you, Lucas, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, I think it was. You dominated the first half of the season. Obviously, you won it. Sebring, you won it. Barber, and you won it into Lagos. You got 3 in a row, and then had a bit of a crap season from then on. And
yeah,
no, it wasn't really.
Season, indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially at the end, two rare grid penalties, best in the league in this statistical category. So quite happy with that.
And we all know what happened at. I'm not. Las Vegas and many other places as well. I'm just going to bring up another shot because I forgot to change it.
Gotta come to these.
There we go.
Special places later tonight. For
yes.
Those watching, this is going to be very interesting indeed.
This is going to be very interesting. Can I, for those of you who've never really been accustomed with the classic IndyCar series, Robert and Lucas were quite big rivals last season, but they're also quite good friends. They're at Robert's house. They're both drinking beer. I've been given pictures of them eating pizza earlier on this evening, so they aren't doing too badly for themselves. I'm not going to show you the picture that I took beforehand if you haven't already seen it.
You can reenact it if you want. No problem.
You could try. Yep, there you go. The only difference was Lucas was also holding a beer bottle, which I believe he still is. So obviously, first round that we broadcasted on RaceSpot TV, it was at Barber Motorsports Park. My very first RaceSpot TV broadcast as well. And 12 months later, I'm still here and I'm still entertaining you boys. Yeah. So I'm going to bring up onto your screen now some contact, which these two won't enjoy watching. Between them. Here we go. You can see Robert Grosser and...
That was really close there. Out towards the final corner. Number 1, number 10 machine always coming together on board. Will Lucas Laville is going to make a move in towards turn of 1. The answer is no. But those two almost there, Jack, just tangled up.
There was a small touch from Lucas on the back of Robert's car. Robert's now got rear wing damage, which means
that's me wrecking people out.
Speed is going to be affected. Let's let Timo get away. His lead is back up to 1.2 seconds, which is interesting to see.
Jack Styles.
Andres Werner is really on the charge now. He's got past effing
Jack Styles.
Corias up to P5 now. He's just...
And yes, I know my microphone was bad though in those days. I want that scene there. There we go. Yes, so that was obviously the first moment between these two that we saw. Many more were to follow throughout the rest of the season. Most notably,
New
Hampshire, which you can be seen here.
16 minutes remaining on the play clock, or 34 laps. Whichever comes first. Green flag back in the air. One more time, Jack.
Yeah, we're going to go back green again. Robert Gross is going to hold that lead, but look at Lucas Laville coming up on the back. Oh, and Laville has spun around Grosser.
Yeah, uh-oh, there we are. There's Lucas Laville, and there is the driver of Robert Grosser, and that is going to be a controversial moment in this series. Replay coming up. We need to dissect this one, I think.
We surely do, and it just looks like Laville had so much more speed coming off of turn 2 there than Grosser.
Yeah.
And just a tiny touch sent him round. And actually, I'm wondering whether did Shoemake Grubbs sustain some damage from that?
No, don't want to do that.
I'm not sure. What I want to do though is I want to have a look from a couple of different
angles. That was even the third one.
Yeah. As they come, yeah, that in my opinion does seem to be more of a case of the driver of the Ville turning around Grosser than the other way around.
So, obviously these two, we know you had a good battle between you for the whole season. I have another clip to show you contact between you both. I'm not going to spare you the embarrassment.
Once again.
So we've shown you two. I'm not going to show you anymore, and I've decided to screen share with these two, so they don't have to wait 30 seconds to actually see what's going to be on the broadcast that you're seeing at home. So, obviously, I'm just going to. No, I'm not going to do that because that's now. Oh, that's quite weird. I'm actually going to show you this on the broadcast because it looks quite cool. I think Lucas has just seen it. And if I can remember where it is, it's that one I want. There you go. No, I've broken it. This has not gone well. It's already going wrong. We're already about 10 minutes in. So, obviously, another thing to point out is loyalty of drivers during 2017. Robert and Lucas, you'll probably be able to remember this much better than I will. Who would be the drivers who you'd say turned up at every single race, or at least most of the races in 17, sorry.
First of all, which is makes us really proud, I have to say, is that we just figured out from the top 27 drivers of the final standings last season, 24 returned for this season. Thanks, guys. This is really much appreciated. Obviously, you are enjoying the series, and it's very nice to see so many drivers from last season coming back. Obviously, those are also the most active drivers. Otherwise, they wouldn't have finished on the top of the points table. So we have drivers that did almost every race, like Hannes Pitkänen, Carsten Bodovi, John Emsweiler, of course myself and Lucas for obvious reasons. Henry Bennett was always there. So many drivers that contribute a lot to put on a good show each and every race.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being there. It means a lot to us for all the hard work we put through the league. So the best thing we can say is thank you, and thank you for having our back every time, every race. Thank you for bearing with us through the hard times, the controversial times, the fun times, obviously. And here's to more. Here's to a lot more in 2018.
So obviously, let's move on now. 2018 starts up in just a couple of weeks. We will be broadcasting every single round on RaceSpot TV. I believe that's the first time that's ever happened. And it's going to be myself and Will Vincent up in the commentary box bringing you that one. So just looking at 2018, what are the rule changes? Because I believe you two are probably better to talk through that than I am.
Yeah, we have some adjustments, let's say. We will go away from the double file restarts, for example, back to single file. That's what Indycar is using these days. And also in the past, during the kart era and all this. So this is one of the change. We go back from the restart zone only on the green flag. We make it a little bit more simple, like in the sporting code. The normal restart procedure that you have in the sporting code is now also valid in the CIS to keep things easy. And this is actually, I think, the most important changes. Yeah. I mean, the other stuff is very little adjustments about penalties and stuff like this.
Mostly about penalties and how we handle like in-race penalties and points and all that, basically.
Yeah. Also, the point system is very consistent compared to last year. Some minor adjustments only, but these are really details.
We wouldn't say ditched. We picked another track for the 500-mile race.
It would help if I unmute my mic on the stream. So basically, for those of you who haven't just heard, they've dropped the Indy 500 for this year. They're bringing the Pocono 500. They're going to go to the Tricky Triangle, which basically means me and Will have got to shout for 3.5 hours at people running into the wall at turn 3 because they've forgotten that you have to brake.
In turn 1 as well.
In turn 1 as well.
The old version of Pocono, not the new one that iRacing just released last week. The old bumpy version, so even less grip, even more spins, even more people wrecking in the wall or into each other, like me.
We're also going to have 3 wide starts as well, isn't it? It's a custom start procedure.
This is coming back from the last 2 years. 3 wide we had at Michigan and Indy, and the special qualifying session for this race as well.
Yes, and that will be the weekend before. I may be able to provide a broadcast for that. I will confirm that very much closer to the time once I know what I am doing. And I mean, I can't confirm it in March when the race is going to be in like August or whatever it is. So yes, yeah. I will try and sort something out in terms of a broadcast. It won't be as professional as RaceSpot by all means, but it will have me shouting at it, so I'm sure it will keep you all entertained. Don't you worry. Footage you're currently seeing on your screen is just a random timestamp from the Sonoma race, and I'm not really sure what was going on. I have muted the sound. It's just to give you something to watch rather than a photo while we're talking to you, and I hope you're all having a nice time. I'm almost out of beer, so we'll be going on a beer break in just a moment. And obviously, another thing to touch on as well is we're going to be looking at it's a new schedule for this year. And actually, I will just get the schedule up, and I apologise for having to go into a smaller screen so I can actually drag it over. So obviously, we're starting at Homestead, Miami. We're doing 200 laps there. It's a 300-mile race, and then off to Sebring on the modified circuit. That will be interesting to watch. And then
repeat from last year for this one.
Yes, and then Kansas Oval as well, a 200-mile race at that speedway, and then we are still going to Indy. Don't you worry. We will be going to Indy during the month of May. We are going to be having a race at the road course, as opposed
standing start for this one.
Oh, that will be very interesting.
Yep, and the best standing start racer in the series will not be there, which is not me.
And then a couple of weeks off for the iRacing Indy 500, and of course the 102nd Indy 500 in real life. I'm pretty sure there'll be some sort of party in the Classic IndyCar Discord for that event.
You bet.
We're then off to the Milwaukee Mile for 225 miles around there. A few weeks off. We've got a Grand Prix of Detroit. Now, just update me on this one. If we can't make it to Detroit, it is going to be
Laguna Seca.
Laguna Seca. So it will most likely be Laguna Seca. Do not quote me on that one, but it will most likely be Laguna Seca for that race.
I am very optimistic. I am not. We will drive at Detroit. I am not. So we shall see. Yeah, no, I don't trust them for that.
Yes, and then we will visit our first short track of the year on the 1st of July in the form of Richmond Raceway. We will be racing there at night. Yeah. Obviously, only short track we're going to. We then got quite a few weeks off to do with the iRacing Kings Royale, the iRacing Spa 24, and then a couple of off weeks getting ready for the Pocono 500 with the 3-wide start. There is another announcement regarding that race coming on towards the end of the pre-season show. And then obviously last 4 rounds we're going to be going to Mid-Ohio. I believe wasn't on the schedule last season. Good to see it on the schedule for this season. That's going to be an interesting race to watch. Chicagoland, that'll be our final speedway visit. Then we're going to go across the Atlantic to Silverstone. We're going to be in my homeland, and then off to Aussieland for the final round in Phillip Island. So quite a good schedule there, I'd say, and definitely one that could provide some exciting races. There's going to be 14. No, sorry, hang on. I've got to do maths now. This is not fun. 12 broadcasts officially by RaceSpot, potentially one as well for the Pocono quali. That's going to be 3 hours long, and I believe the quali procedure will be announced in due course for that race.
Yes, indeed.
So obviously a good schedule, and that is going to be quite a competitive one, and I believe also carrying on with the Oval and Road Championships as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's obviously we're going to have an overall champion. That's going to be the person who excels on road and oval. We're going to have a road champion, which basically means you don't even need to have to turn up at any of the oval races. You can still win a championship. And you can do what Michaela did, apart from a couple of rounds, and turn up to all the oval races and absolutely stonk it.
That's the word indeed.
Yes, he showed people how it was done, I'd say, last year.
Yeah, special setup tricks can do the job too. Oh, shots fired. Your turn, pizza man.
It certainly is. So, I would say let's have a look at one more point before we go and have a quick break so we can all replenish our beverages. And these are top 5 hot contenders that we have, or that Robert and Lucas have outlined for me for this year.
Yeah,
2 of them are themselves. So I think there's a bit of bias going on here.
Just so we get this clear, we have the 3-time defending champion and 2-time defending runner-up. So we pick ourselves, but that's for good reasons.
But don't be wrong, they're going to have stiff competition.
We're going to have, yeah.
Yes,
indeed.
this year. Henry. First of all, I want to talk about Henry Bennett. So Henry Bennett has he's won the Winter Classic IndyCar Series.
In dominant fashion, smashing the field. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm going to do a little bit of shout out for my own team here. Recently joined Fitstar Motorsport as a prototype driver, so branching out into other areas of iRacing. Luckily for us.
Yeah.
So Henry Bennett is going to be definitely one to watch. You obviously saw the clip in the trailer, which was posted a couple of weeks ago. So played it at the top of this broadcast, and it just shows obviously a bit of a move with him and I believe it was Andreas Werner.
Yeah, it was
at Sonoma. So there is another moment. I'm not going to play it though. And another one is our overall championship from last year. Michaela oh my God, I butchered that.
Catanizzi, get it right.
Costantini, there we go. I think I finally got your surname right, Michaela, after spending 6 names trying to get your first name right. And obviously he's overall champion. I believe he is returning for a full season on the road side of things as well. Yep. So he is going to be doing all of the races and having a little bit of fun, as you can see on your screens there. Andreas Werner having a little bit of trip into the gravel. And I believe, courtesy of Robert Grosser, I'm just going to give you another picture to look at while I quickly change what YouTube video you're going to be watching. This is from Kentucky, and I'm actually going to leave the commentary in, because apparently it was very good, but I can't remember that race very well. So it's now loading. You'll have to bear with. My internet is a bit shocking while it's streaming. You're lucky enough to have it in 720p sometimes, so it's not as bad as Lucas's, of course, but it's getting there. Don't you worry.
One of my nicknames is the Blinker.
Or Baguette Man. One of the two.
Baguette. I'll let you guys pick the best one, obviously. Pick Baguette Man. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen.
French strikes.
Imagine the admins of CIS going on strike.
Well, nothing's I mean, it would fit for half of or a third of the admin team. I'm not sure about the other 2/3. I promise you, ladies and gents, this clip is coming. My internet is just being absolutely shocking at the moment. It's not actually working.
We could go on a beer break, meanwhile.
We could go on a beer break, because I've just emptied my glass. And I just realised I've drunk a pint.
Yes, Samuel Sanders, your ID is refused. And that's going to be a rear of grid penalty, I guess, for the first race. Sam Winton, unfortunately, you're going to have to take a rear of grid penalty. We recovered some ancient incident points from the 2016 season. So we're going to have to serve a rear of grid penalty for the first 12 races of the season, unfortunately.
Only 12, by the way, so only 12.
We are kind.
Yes. You might actually get to qualify at some point this year.
Maybe. I'm still waiting, by the way. I'm still waiting. Qualifying is a long souvenir for me.
Well, I'm going to give up on my internet, because it's being the usual shoddy self. And anyone from BT, if you're watching, can you come out and fix it, please? Because it's awful. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I have the clip now. I'm going to bring it up onto your screens.
Drive from Michael Costantini as we're approaching that 30 lap to go mark, and it's just I've seen very few people dominate IndyCar races like this. There's some names that have done it. Tim Miller's a name that we know in the past as in years past has had these sorts of drives. Yang O in this very car is a name that I'm sure a lot of people maybe not so familiar with these days for a lot of the new guys on the sim, but Yang O was essentially the Gregor Hutu of the IndyCar for the time being. Basically, you know, he would find speed in the fixed setups that no one else could. He would find tenths in a fixed setup on an oval track that, you know, no one else could even get close to. Handful of drivers have you know, dominated races, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone dominate a race like this.
You certainly weren't watching Motegi 2 weeks ago. Alessandro Dalladoni, he didn't take the start to that in the 98, but he dominated here at Motegi in the Rolando Rising Sun, and he just no one could even touch him. And we're seeing a similar performance here today from Mikel Constantini, and it just seems to be that the Classic IndyCar Series, you have a few drivers who do shine out. Robert Grosser, Lucas Laville, Mikel Constantini, Alessandro Dalladoni, the four who I've noticed all season long who really shine.
Pretty much sums it up what Randy said in this.
It pretty much does. I mean, Michaela was dominating on the ovals, and he didn't really show up to many of the road races, but he just dominated the ovals, and I'd like to see him sort of carry that over to 2018. And Samuel Sanders, if I don't run all the races, does it carry to 2019?
You bet it will.
I'm pretty sure people had penalties at the start of 2018 that were valid from 2000 or 2017 that were valid from 2015 or something.
Later. I mean, Henry and Michele are really pretty obvious picks for the favorite for the title. Because as you mentioned, Henry was really dominant in the Winter Series, but we should not forget that he scored his best finishes in the past season on the ovals. He was always there when it matters. Was it Las Vegas, P2, Indianapolis, I guess P3, Kentucky, P3, Iowa on the podium as well. So he is always there. He always is in contention for the podium, and this is what you need to win a championship. I can speak from experience there because in 2016 I won the title without winning a single race. So, and Henry will win a race this season. I'm absolutely sure. He almost won the season opener at Sebring last season. Was very strong from the very beginning. So yeah, this is just a logical choice, and also
sponsored by Logical.
And, product placement at its best. And Michele, as we just saw and heard from Randy, he is dominant on ovals. In every single oval race, he was in contention for the win. Won 3 of the oval races. I know because he's my teammate at Logical Vortex Sim Racing. So he is very strong also on the roadside. Showed very good pace lately in the HPD in the Neo Series. Also driving the Formula 1 car on iRacing. He might play it down a little bit, his road skills, but this is just sandbagging. Michele is also, he will be very strong. I said it to Lucas already. I wouldn't be surprised. I can be happy if I really finish inside the top 5. That's what I really think.
Yeah, same for me. And coming back to what Randy said on the broadcast there, for anyone who knows the IndyCar community, being compared to the likes of Miller and Yango is huge praise. It's huge praise in this community. So I don't want to put any pressure on Michele because he's not the type of guy who's gonna fall under pressure, but he's gonna perform this year. I guarantee that.
Yeah.
So obviously, last one, I probably brought the clip up a little bit too early, was last one to look out for this season is going to be John Elmsweimer. You've just seen footage of him winning the race on the final lap against yourself, Robert, at Fontana. And there you go, you're doing some donuts. Not really sure why you're doing donuts for finishing second, but you're still doing donuts.
Because I secured the title with P2. That was
right, okay. So you just won the title with P2 at Fontana. Yeah. That makes more sense. Sorry about that. So John Elmsweimer, he's always strong, and I would expect to see him up at the front at some point this year.
He's been super strong during Winter Series. Yeah. The official car engineer for the Classic IndyCar series, because he's making default setups for every single racetrack. He's been working really hard on the setup skills lately, and his setup is super good. So big thanks to him for that, first of all. And yeah, he's been improving a lot. Road courses is going to be a factor every road race. And yeah, should be a contender. And as we said, we are going to be pretty happy if we both finish in the top 5. That's for sure.
We should not forget that John finished the 2016 season on P4 overall. He had just a streak of bad luck in the past season. He put a huge amount of time into practice, developing the setups, doing practice rounds. So yeah, if he can overcome the bad luck, he will be there and he will be winning another race, just like he did in the, was it the preseason race at Daytona that he won? Yeah, absolutely.
So we're about halfway through our pre-season show now. We're going to go on a quick break. I'm going to quickly play the trailer. So Robert and Lucas, I'm going to quickly bring you up on the screen. You've got, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen as well once I remember how to.
Because they have no beer left.
Yes.
So it's perfectly timed.
We're all. Everyone is out of beer. So as Robert's just finishing off his final few drops. And so we're going to quickly go and have a quick break and stock ourselves back up. Lucas has finally stopped being a chav, and we are going to and we will be back with you in just a few moments. And while we are away, enjoy the trailer.
Let's get the Classic IndyCar Series Indianapolis 500 underway. In fact, they are going to go 3 wide in towards turn number 5. Hey, look at that. Fantastic.
This point. Oh, is he going to look for a move coming down to the carousel? Yes, he is. Wow, that was a late move there by Henry Bennett going down into the carousel. Turn number 6, lap 67. He is up into 4th position. Well, Andreas Werner, I think, will probably want to fight that one back.
Yeah, he looks to the outside. Not going to do so. Looks to the inside. Gets a better run, then does the driver of Andreas Werner. The 2 make contact.
Oh, that was unlucky contact, but they're going to stay side by side, coming through turn number 8, down towards turn number 9, the chicane. Henry Bennett's going to be pushed off wide. And go round the outside in the number 66 machine, and he's done it. Michel Constantini is going to go to the lead.
Robert Grosser winning the Classic IndyCar Series.
Well then, ladies and gents, we're back. Can't talk. back from our quick break. Oh my god, beer's getting to my head already. We are back from our quick break. Welcome back to all of the 14 people that are watching this. We hope you are enjoying yourselves. I'm now going to unmute Robert and Lucas and bring them back into this, so you can see them now on your screen. They are replenished with beer, and. There you go. Sponsored by a popular German, yeah, they are German, beer company.
Yep.
So, next item that we can talk about. Are we gonna? Should we have a look through the entry list and also at the rookies?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that.
So, no, let's not bring up the HTML for Google Docs. That's a bad idea.
Everything's going perfectly according to plan.
On your screen at the moment is a very fancy version of the Classic IndyCar Series entry list. And you can obviously see all the teams. Lucas there, all on his own. And also list of the rookies, or of the independents. So, first of all, let's have a look at each of the teams that have been entered. So, first of all, Logical Vortex Sim Racing. Robert Grosser, your very own team, I do believe. And, oh, let's just get your face off of that screen. And Discord, stop breaking. Thank you. So, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car effort. I also believe that is the biggest team entered into the Classic IndyCar Series.
Oh, yes.
So, Robert, we've already talked about. Don't care. Timo Isinyemi, someone who we saw at the start of last season. He did the odd round here and there. Always rapid, always very quick, and someone definitely to keep your eye on for top fives and podiums. TM Hauser only ever seems to be good on the ovals. Sorry.
I'm a champion, the defending Indy 500 winner.
Yep.
Timo, the defending pole setter at Indy.
So I'd expect good things from him on the ovals, and
absolutely.
And there you go. And then Michele Constantini, our reigning oval champion. Yes.
Doesn't like pizza for some reason.
Yes. He's meant to be banned from eating pizza because he didn't win the Pizza 200.
If you go on the Classic IndyCar Series YouTube page, if you want to watch that race.
Yes, it is. It is on this YouTube race. Fantastic broadcast provided by myself, Lucas, and Sam Sanders. Another name returning to the series is Fernando Correas. He was in last year in his own logical liveried car. I expect him to be back in the same liveried car for this year. In the number
he will probably drive. He will this time drive the Vortex car.
Okay. That answers my question.
A win-win situation. Thanks, Fernando, for being our title sponsor. That's much appreciated.
There you go. I'm just going to give him a little bit more exposure and zoom into about 500%. There you go. Boosted by Logical. Awesome name for a series.
And also he created, his team at Logical created this wonderful new logo, which is really beautiful. I love it. Awesome.
It does look very good. And two other names which I believe are new to the series, or names that I haven't seen before, are AJ Burton and Joel Tremblay.
Yeah, these are both the first two rookies to talk about. AJ is, from what I know, is a bit more focused on the ovals. Is working there with Michele in the official iRacing IndyCar series, and Joel pretty much the same, just with a focus on the road courses. Very strong in the preseason race, finished P2 behind John Emsweiler at Daytona within a few hundredths of a second. Yes. So this was a very close battle. Mm-hmm. So I expect very good results for both of them in their respective discipline.
And obviously, Joel Tremblay, another rookie to the series. Obviously, you might be able to know him a bit better than I do, Robert. Obviously, I'm not really too or Vortex Sim Racing, they've sort of gone out of their, not really been in the public scene very recently, as much as they used to be anyway. So I've sort of lost track of who drives for who and who the drivers are at Vortex now. And obviously Joel, probably a strong name to come into the Classic IndyCar Series.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then next team, Venture Esports. We don't need to care about him. Power Slide Classic Motorsports. Now these are three names, especially that I recognise from the IndyCar scene: Austin Espartee, Henry Bennett, and Niall McBride. They're three strong drivers coming into this series.
Yeah, they can really play a big role. We talked about Henry already. Austin is here as rookie, but that doesn't mean too much, because in the official series and other leagues that he's competing in, he's always a contender for race wins and even the title. So yeah, I would think he is capable of finishing very strong. Yep. Niall McBride, will do a part-time schedule and will also be capable of doing very good things.
Yeah.
Also a CIS rookie, same for Andrew Wood. So yeah, we will see. But
karting legend, so
they are this team as a whole is has a lot of potential. Really,
super strong team.
Yeah.
And obviously, yes, so Powerslide Classic Motorsports, they're definitely going to be one to watch throughout the season. 4X Racing, they usually sort of seem mid-pack. Jos van der Ven is a name I pick up from the 60 Plus Racing Adventures, which is a series we cover over on RaceSpot TV. He finished second in the championship last season, using the Pro Mazdas. He obviously, these IndyCars are a little bit more of a beast. He's not as quick as I've seen in the preseason races as some of the other drivers, but there's some very strong lineups there in the form of Ben Saunders, Jack Turner, David Costello, Klaus Peterson, Franz Josef Stum, and Jos van der Ven. That's a strong team. There is a lot of them. There's could be some good strategy from that team.
Yeah, all the guys have been super good during the winter series. A lot of progress from all of them, so we can expect them to be contenders every race once again.
So this whole team, when we talked about loyalty earlier on, this is definitely like David Costello, Jos van der Ven, Jack Turner did a lot of races in 2017. Franz Josef Stum is coming back after competing 2015 and 2016 already, so it's a comeback for him.
Yeah, for most of them, it's a comeback for multiple years.
So David won a race at Texas. So yeah, this team must also be very strong and be very competitive. And the most important, very reliable. They will be consistent.
Yeah, they will.
Hang on. I've lost the page. I got it back. So onto the smaller teams now, sort of 1-2 driver entry teams. We've got, first of all, Hans Pitkanen in the USA GI Motorsports. Obviously, Hans we saw last year, he was incredibly strong.
Yeah, always in contention, at least for the top 5. And always in contention with Carsten.
Yeah.
This was very funny.
And Carsten and Burley are always racing together.
Yeah.
This is quite becoming the running gag here. But yeah, these two are going to be contenders, mid-pack, upper mid-pack, all season.
Absolutely.
Always reliable, always going to finish races or spin on the first lap.
And then Carsten Brodby as well. We've just basically talked about him in the IndyCar Enthusiast Racing team. We then have Saunders Bommersbach Racing. That is comprised of Andrew Adair Saunders and Caton Bommersbach. Caton we usually see about the top 10, top 12, and Andrew we usually see down towards the rear of your field. Not one of the fastest drivers in the Classic IndyCar Series, but he still turns up and has a go.
Yeah. So both, again, drivers who show up in every race. Big supporters of the league. Andrew is hosting the free practice sessions. Thanks, Andrew. It's much appreciated. And when both working together, teaming up for the 2018 season, I think they will improve.
Yeah,
and Caton is, I think he finished like P6, P5 in one of the road races. Awesome. So, yeah.
So, next up, we have Centera Simsport of Marshall Stanley. I believe, if I remember right, was it Gregory Schull who joined us for the last round at Vegas? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was Gregory Schull, wasn't it?
Was.
Yes, okay. So Marshall Stanley is one of the drivers who we saw. Is he a new driver for this season? I can't remember.
No, he was there for the last 2 years already. There every time, as most of the others. Big supporter of our work, always trying to improve. He's improving, actually, every time he's on the racetrack. So he was as well my teammate at Target Chip Ganassi last year, so... For Chip, Marshall, we're going to do it again. Or at least we'll try once more. And we're going to make it this time.
So next up, I know he's in the YouTube chat. It is going to be Sam Sanders of SSR Motorsport. And Sam, who was obviously on a limited season last year, I believe he's going to be back on a limited season this year as well. But he's always strong in these Indy cars. He knows how to manipulate them well. And he is going to be strong throughout the season, I think.
Yes, you will. He's benefiting from a good chunk of real-life racing experience as well.
He has to overcome a little bit of bad luck as well. He was involved in some crashes, which prevented him from scoring good finishes last season. But he will be always in the upper mid-pack.
Yeah.
And then F4H Motorsport, they are quite a big team in the Forza and console racing world. They're just getting into iRacing. They've got a very strong team, actually. Fitztime Motorsport was lucky enough to race them at Sebring. Unfortunately, they hit bad luck and were not able to finish the race very highly. But Stefan Schleicher, he is a name who I recognise quite often from the Classic IndyCar Series. Very strong driver as well. And he is back with that backing of quite a big team now.
Let's hope he doesn't make less than 2 races this year. But he was a contender when he ran last year. So
absolutely. So he was it after Indianapolis? I think he stopped driving. Didn't have enough time for the CIS. This changed over the winter, so now he's back. He is maybe you don't know, he's also a league admin of the VTEC series, which is doing some sort of endurance races, which kept him busy. Now he's back, and we will see. He was also always good for top 5.
Yeah.
When he drove, he led Indy. Unfortunately, crashed out when leading, but this can happen.
Yeah.
And next up for us to talk about Sam Winton, obviously one of the drivers we see down towards the rear of the grid usually. He's usually there at every single race, good supporter of the series.
Official graphic partner of CIS as well.
Yes.
Thanks for the screenshots and all the great images, Sam.
So Sam Winton does a great job. He's not one of the fastest drivers, but he's there all the time. He puts the time in, and he's going to be interesting to see how he does this year. James Payne. James Payne back again for another go at the Classic IndyCar Series with Racing Joy Motorsports. And again, one of the midfield drivers we usually see, along with Jonathan Diggs.
He's improving, and as we go through the field, we'll talk about drivers that are improving a lot throughout the last couple of years. So the field is going to be even more competitive than it was last year. It's going to make for even better racing, we hope, which is going to be tough to accomplish, but we are confident that the racing is going to be better because everybody's improving a lot in this difficult car.
I want to quote Jussi Nieminen for once. He just posted it after the Imola race of the Winter Series. He said he was practicing for Imola. He was like 2 seconds off the pace. Back in the old days, that would have been pretty good to score a decent midfield result. But he considered that in CIS, the level of competitiveness is so close that he decided to not run this race because he would be at the back end with the 2 seconds.
That's saying something.
Yeah. So this is exactly what we are talking about. You mentioned Jonathan, Jack, and he also is. He was joking here on the YouTube chat, so he wants to get rid of the title Captain Slow. Jonathan, you will, because first of all, we have now a nice practice sessions also for American drivers at the more convenient time slot. And also we figured out that, and I really like to mention it.
Yeah,
Jonathan Diggs did the last seasons in Classic IndyCar Series with a Microsoft Sidewinder wheel. So, guys,
if you don't know this wheel, Google it.
Go to the museum and Google that.
It's a 20-year-old piece of history, and I know it's complete trash compared to all the entry-level wheels we have right now. So when I learned that, Jonathan earned a massive amount of respect from me. Just being able to drive around the racetrack with that wheel.
I couldn't keep a car on track with this wheel. So much respect, Jonathan.
And speaking about Jonathan, we just learned live on this broadcast today that Michael Gerlicke, Jonathan Diggs, and Johnny Garrett, we haven't talked about yet, about the Mike and Johnny, but they're going to form GDG Racing. Sorry, guys, for messing with the name. GDG Racing is going to be a new team composed of Mike Gerlicke, Johnny Garrett, and Jonathan Diggs.
Yeah,
we learn something new every day. So, good stuff, guys. Good luck. And we're waiting for you guys to show us all the improvements we can
you will be able to accomplish together. Absolutely.
So, we made an agreement before this started that we try and keep it to about an hour long. We're about 10 minutes away from that hour mark, so...
Everything's gonna be fine, Jack.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think we're gonna have to go for a bit of a quick fire through the rest of the stuff, because I need to go pretty quickly. So, Tyler Vickery and Sam Bennett, they're going to be forming Phenomenal Evolution Racing. Tyler Vickery is a name that I recognise, and Sam Bennett is, I believe, a rookie. I'll probably be marked wrong.
He will be a rookie, yes, indeed, yeah.
As Robert decides that he's going to go and edit the document. Gregory Shaw is going to be returning as well. He made his debut at Las Vegas last year, and he's going to now be running a full season. And, oh, it looks like Sam Sanders, you've just been removed from the entry list.
No, he was... Hi, Sam! We talked about Sam. It was my mistake.
Fair enough. Talk Freak Racing are going to be making their first appearance with Sasha Lamp, their team manager.
Coming from the Winter Series, not much to say about him right now. We will see.
I'm going to stay quiet about Talk Freak. Hard Drive Motorsports with Tov Novastad. That's a new name, I believe, as well, along with seeing a few new names now as we head down towards the... There we go. Down towards the back of the entry list with... NLR Sim Racing of Isaiah. I'm very sorry if I got that wrong. Dupree. Vesa Yula Ulia of VAGA Racing. Robert Waddle of Pydomant Racing. Love that. Benjamin Gregory of Fitstyle Motorsport. That's my own team, so I'm not going to be biased to him at all. Mind Trick Motorsports, they're going to be fielding Yone Kayan, and B&R Racing are going to be fielding Joshua Baird, and then all of your independents are currently on your screen. Randy Shoemake, Lance Simon, Rory Collins, Jan Hoffman, Jorge Anzaldo, Andreas Werner.
Also, as Will Vincent like to say during the Vegas race. Sorry, Will.
Caleb Weekly, what a surname. Andrew Aitken. Ryan Hellier, I believe he runs the IndyCar League.
He does, yeah.
Yep. Matt Molnar, Michael Gerlicher, obviously has just been announced that he's going to be joining GDC Racing and forming that. Brian Greeley, Rolf Just as well. He's quite a name we see quite often in the iRacing League scene. Daniel Skormeister, Christian Richter, returning again to the Classic IndyCar Series. And then Johnny Garrett and John Elmsweimer we talked about earlier. That is your full entry list for the 2018 Classic IndyCar Series. So, quite a strong entry list.
I would just add a few words to keep it a bit short, but most of the guys we just mentioned are rookies completely new to the season, and we are really appreciating the interest in running with us. It's good to have you all on board. Of course, we can't say too much because they are rookies. We haven't seen them racing yet, but we are pretty excited about this. There are some few names that we can say a few words about. Yone Kayan, for example, returns after winning 2 races in 2016 already. So keep an eye on him. He will do very well. He is capable of scoring very good results, especially on the road side. Yep. This is the first one. Then Randy Shoemake, of course, he was also one of the guys who did almost every race in the past season. He is very strong, especially on the ovals. He will, if everything goes right, he will win a race, I'm sure. Rory Collins is coming back, also doing a few races already. Then Jorge Anzaldo, the Lionheart Racing Series, did 1 race at Vegas, will return for a part-time schedule at least. Also great to have you back. Andreas Werner, you, Jack, you will remember the Barber race. What a dominance from Andreas. And he will do also a very reduced schedule, but when he shows up, he will be at least a contender for the podium. We all knew this. Andrew Aitken showing up for almost every race. Michael Gerlicher, we just learned about the new team. This is really awesome. Good luck and thanks for your effort, Michael, putting up these practice sessions for the drivers from USA.
Yep.
Then Rolf Just is also coming back after 2016 and 2017 competing already in CIS. It's also great to have you back, Christian Richter, focusing on the road races, not doing ovals, I can tell you that already. And then, of course, Johnny Garrett, we also talked about him. He's also improving a lot in the past few months, really. And we just saw the Vegas race where he was all the time in the top 10. Awesome stuff. And yeah, John Emsweiler, we said already enough about him. Yeah. So this is really, this roster is impressive. We are very proud to have all of you guys on board.
Yeah, we are super happy. Yes, guys.
So obviously now on to sponsors and partners. We've already mentioned Logical. They are the title sponsor for the Classic IndyCar Series. And I believe as well we have an announcement to make regarding another sponsor.
Yes, we do. Because Joel Retiming, also known as JRT, will come back for the Classic IndyCar Series in 2018.
Absolutely. Thanks to Joel Gues for the support and for this amazing piece of software, I have to say. I use it doing all the races for my fuel calculations and everything, and this is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is, really. Nothing more to say about that.
Joel will donate 12 Pro license keys again, just like last year. We will decide for which occasion we will give it away. But we are very happy to have Joel Real Timing back as the official timing and scoring partner.
And obviously Logical Engineering is going to be returning again as the title sponsor. And obviously that's run by Fernando Correas, I believe. So he is also one of the drivers in the Classic IndyCar Series. Great to see a company with such good sim racing products. I believe they specialise in motion sims.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe. And they're definitely worth a look if you can afford it. It's the whole motion sim thing for sim racing is extremely pricey, but no, it's definitely worth looking at. Logical, obviously offering quite reasonably priced, and they do sort of little Formula One style dash displays as well. Which aren't too expensive, and I'm definitely going to be looking into one of those in the future from at least someone. So the same two sponsors are going to be returning. Obviously, new logo, a little bit of a different look. The broadcaster looks slightly different as well because RaceSpot has new overlays for this year, introduced towards the end of last year. Yellow and black this time as opposed to black and grey.
RaceSpot, we are as well super happy to continue our partnership with RaceSpot TV as being our broadcaster. 2017 has been a big year broadcasting-wise. Thanks mostly to you, Jack, for your involvement and your presence in the CIS daily life, as we could say. So big thanks to you, Jack, and all the guys at RaceSpot for wanting to keep working with us.
Hugo Lewis, Randy Chenos, Will Vincent, Cisco Scaramuza, especially Mr. IndyCar, Will Vincent.
Yeah.
It's great to have this partnership going on for another year.
Yeah.
And having all races broadcast for the first time. This is really amazing.
Yeah, this is super good for us. Super cool.
So obviously, just before we start to wrap up, there is one more announcement to make regarding the Pocono 500. And who will be driving the pace car?
Well, we can announce that the driver of the pace car will be actually a newcomer in the Classic IndyCar Series.
We will have something very special, and those who watched the real life Indianapolis 500 broadcasts on ABC back then in the early 90s might remember Bobby Unser driving the pace car and doing the commentary out of the pace car. And so it's a pleasure to have an actual commentator driving our pace car at Pocono.
Because this will be Jack Stiles,
Hello.
the official pace car driver for the Classic IndyCar Series Pocono 500.
And
there we go.
We're going for a bit of an abstract car choice as well. We're going to have the Audi 90 GTO.
Absolutely, because why not? Classic style.
Don't you worry, I will be drifting that through turn 1 at some point.
Don't spin and don't break the field, that's all we need to do.
I will attempt not to, don't you worry. So,
but also we want to give a big shout out to the pace car driver of the past 2 seasons, Mr. Georg Naujoks, who was driving at Michigan and Indianapolis.
The slowest. It wasn't a Mustang. Wasn't an easy job to drive the slowest from Michigan International Raceway. Pedal to the metal, not even being close enough to being fast enough to keep up with the Indycar. So, thanks, Georg.
So, obviously, just before we wrap up, we don't want to be keeping this too long. We might bore everyone who's watching. Final thoughts from you, Roberts, going into the 2018 season?
Final thoughts. It will be super exciting, and I have to say, after feeling a bit burnt out after last season, today I practiced a little bit at Sebring, and I'm absolutely motivated. It was so much a pleasure to drive this car there, and I'm really excited. It will be the toughest season ever, that's for sure. Winning or finishing on the podium will be tougher than ever before, and I'm really looking forward to it. This will be hopefully action-packed season, and hopefully not too much controversy. Looking to Lucas here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward. I'm totally hyped.
And Lucas, same from you. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm super happy to be there once again, working super hard to make this happen. As Robert said, this is going to be a super tough season for all of us, race-wise, but super happy that all the guys are excited, hyped about the banter as well, that we can keep in the series on Discord and on the forums every single time. Yeah, just the hype, man. 10 days. In 10 days, Homestead, live on RaceSpot TV. Be there. Watch it. Watch it. As Will Vincent would say, it's going to be great. Thanks for everybody. Thanks to everybody who's signed up, to everybody who is going to sign up later.
Thanks for all the donations, for all the support, practice sessions, financial support, prizes, everything. We really appreciate it. It's great stuff going on. Great to have such a big, I call it the core group of racers that returning for every race. It's just awesome. The banter on Discord, it's very enjoyable every day. So yeah, it's just awesome. Just keep it that way. It's cool.
Yeah. Don't change, guys.
I don't really know what much more I can say. Lucas has basically said what I was going to say to finish off about, hey, tune into RaceSpot on the 20, whatever the date is of March. It's going to be the 25th of March. It's going to be...
You need to swear on your own broadcast, Jack.
I do, and I'm going to just before we go. Don't you worry. And for those who don't understand that comment, that stems from Las Vegas.
Las Vegas race.
After my internet decided to...
CIS race, actually. Watch every CIS race you can find on RaceSpot TV. Commentated by Will Vincent, Jack Styles, Randy Chinoth,
Cisco Scaramuza, Rachel Whiteford.
Yeah, all the team. Watch it. Be there.
Yes, and hopefully my internet won't shit itself this year. But I guarantee you it will, because I live in Norfolk. Anyway, don't forget to tune into the first round and every single round of the RaceSpot of the classic. Oh my god, the classic IndyCar, the classic IndyCar series live on RaceSpot TV. There we go. Words are coming out of my mouth, and I'm successfully saying them. I obviously Will is going to be leading this. I will be joining him. Don't you worry, in the broadcast booth, and I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing lots of Lucas and Robert for the post-race interviews. And the general banter that will follow those races. So, and final goodbyes from you two. I think it's time for now.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
There you go. Free advertising for a beer company there, and from myself, Jack Styles, from Robert Grosser on the left, and Lucas Laville on the right. We hope you enjoyed the Classic IndyCar Series in 2018. Keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for irregular uploads when I decide to edit them, and for the odd occasional podcast that may happen during the season, just to catch up on what's been going on. So I will leave you with our glorious trailer.
Let's get the Classic IndyCar Series Indianapolis 500 underway. In fact, they are going to go 3 wide in towards turn number 5. Hey, look at that. Fantastic.
This point. Oh, is he going to look for a move coming down to the carousel? Yes, he is. Wow, that was a late move there by Henry Bennett going down into the carousel. Turn number 6, lap 67. He is up into 4th position. Well, Andreas Werner, I think, will probably want to fight that one back.
Yeah, he looks to the outside. Not going to do so. Looks to the inside. Gets a better run then does the driver of Andreas. 1 and a 2 make contact.
Oh, that was unlucky contact, but they're going to stay side by side coming through turn number 8. Down towards turn number 9, the chicane. Henry Bennett's going to be pushed off wide. Try and go round the outside in the number 66 machine, and he's done it. Michel Constantini is going to go to the lead.
Robert Grosser winning the Classic IndyCar Series.